welcome back. Ryan and Kevin here with MMA Sucka and MMA Fight Island. Today we have on for the first time Max Griffin, who fights this weekend. Max, how are you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're good.
We're good. We're good. So, how has fight week been so far? I know it's pretty early, but how has it been? Like, did you just get to Vegas?
Yeah, it's been good, man. I'm from Sac, so we're only 45 minutes away on the plane.
Okay.
And
Mhm.
so we got here. I fell asleep on the plane, and we were here. Vegas is my backyard. It's kind of interesting because it's COVID, right? So it's quarantine
Yeah.
here. We got here. Um, did our COVID test. They actually put it in our throat and not in our nose.
Oh,
Oh
really?
wow,
Which
that's
was
different.
easier, bro.
It's
Um,
easier.
yeah, well, I did a test a few days ago before I flew out here on like a Zoom call. You had to like do it. And
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, put it in your nose, and you had to watch and make sure the lady had to make and watch. You put it in the vial, you had to send it to UPS that same day. And so I was expecting that, and that was not the business. Have y'all had a COVID test?
Not me.
You
I've
had?
had
Oh,
I've had three of them. All they do it in both nostrils too.
yeah.
They just go right in. It's
Oh, bro, it's
terrible.
not good. But this one, you just put on your tongue, really, and it was done. So
Oh
um,
wow,
we have
that's a
our
lot
hotel
better.
rooms. Um, it's kind of nice because like it's split. It's like an apartment, kind of like a big apartment. So you have a thing in the middle, and my coach is in the whole other room over there. But I brought my PlayStation, and
Cool.
we're just in quarantine until tomorrow, for now. So
All right, that's good. Well, so how's your weight cut going so far?
easy money, baby. I
Easy money.
had a ton of food last night. Got stuffed on some Mediterranean food. Today I woke up at 175.7.
Okay.
And I weigh in at 171, so that's 5 pounds, 4 pounds.
Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, simple. It's not even a weight cut. I get to be healthy. I get to be happy. I get to eat. You sometimes you come out here, there's guys, losing 20, 30 pounds in a week. They can't eat
Yeah.
shit. They're in a sauna the whole time. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. So, to your fight now. So, how's the training camp been for this fight? How's everything been going?
it's been good, man.
Okay.
Um, you know, I'm fighting this guy. He's a new guy. He's a grappler though, and this is my 10th UFC fight, man. I've fought some of the best guys on the planet, and nothing I haven't seen before. I've been there with some really good guys, some of the best guys in the world. Half of them are ranked, um, and I'm ready to go, man. This guy could only win one way, and that's by submission. Um, but anyone that could stop any takedown beats him, and you know, I'm ready to put this guy out and show him
Yeah.
what the UFC is about.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, did you bring any specific guys to help you with the style of Ramiz? I think that is. Did you bring any guys to help you with that style of his?
I mean, he's a good grappler. He's a submission guy. Um, but I roll with black belts all day, every day.
Okay.
Ramiz isn't a black belt. He's good. He's good, but I roll with, you know, pretty much only black belts that
Okay.
are really good, and they're not. He's not better than them. So um, I'm confident in thwarting his attacks and even maybe submitting him.
Okay.
Um, I'm not scared of the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So style wise and like ability wise, how do you think you match up with them?
You know, I think I have more experience than him everywhere. He's all his wins are by submission, but he submitted a bunch of local guys that aren't nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Average guys. Um, you know, not UFC caliber guys. Just not all tomato cans, but mostly. If you fight these guys at a local level and you come aggressive, you could beat a lot of these guys and look impressive. He's
Yeah.
beating these guys that aren't defending submissions and not knowing what they're doing. It's easy to look
Yeah.
good. It's easy to look good. It is.
Yeah.
But I fought a lot of guys, and they all haven't gone my way, but none of them have really looked good against me.
Yeah.
So
They're all close as shit, splits. I've been robbed a bunch of times. But I'm ready to show this guy, show him the truth. He trains at Fortis, which is a good gym. I fought Alex Morono from there. But Alex Morono was I think at first or something black belt.
Yeah.
He's a black belt for sure. Jiu-jitsu. He has his own jiu-jitsu school, and he can do nothing to me jiu-jitsu wise or any of that.
Yeah.
So who's better at jiu-jitsu, him or Morono? And Morono had like 3 or 4 UFC submissions. So I'm ready to. This isn't the amateurs,
Yeah.
and I'm ready to put this guy away, make a statement.
So you've probably been thinking about how the fight plays out. How do you see it playing out?
He's gonna come hot and heavy. He's gonna want to get me in the ground. I'm not gonna let him. I'm gonna beat him up, and I might take him down, beat him up, catch him coming in, put the pressure on him. I'm not scared of this guy. I got range on him. I got height on him. I'm stronger than him, and I'm ready, man. I'm gonna have fun out there. A lot of these fights, I haven't had fun.
Okay.
It's a serious. It gets real fucking serious when you fight these real good guys. It gets serious, bro. You fight these guys that are the best in the world, that have fought the best. It's hard to have a good time. It's telling you. You get in there, and I have a new mental coach, Danny Patterson, and he's great. We went over like some core values, like really established like this core value system on what makes you you and what makes you the best you. And he looked back at my fights and he said that when I have fun and when I'm enjoying myself, I perform the best, when I'm really having a good time. He went back and watched like the Mike Perry fight, some other fights. And those are masterpieces. When I have a good time and I'm enjoying myself, you're flowy, you're fast. When you're all tight, even right now, if you're tight and try to do something, you're slow. You see it coming and you're kind of holding yourself back. But I've been training like that. I've been practicing like that. I've been living like that, enjoying my life, man. Having a great time in training, in my grappling sessions, in my wrestling, in my sparring sessions. I'm sparring hard, like for knockouts and shit. I'm having fun, and I'm doing so well. So I'm gonna go out there. I mean, I'm getting paid a lot of money to travel the world and beat people up. So I should have a good time. Like, this isn't a punishment. Like, I get to work a few times a year. I mean, I work every day training, but I get paid a few times a year. So fuck, I'm gonna make $100,000. Let's fucking have fun,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So you win Saturday, you come out of the fight healthy. Would you want to get back in there before 2020 ends, or are you looking to get back there and maybe?
Yeah, I want to get in, man.
Okay.
I'm healthy. I've been in the high 70s. I thought I was supposed to fight. Shit, man. They told me I was gonna fight in August.
Yeah.
And so I've been ready since then, like ready to fight in August. Because they asked me to fight Takashi Sato. I think that's his name. I'm like 9 days notice, like when COVID first hit. And I was like, no, like, why, for what?
Yeah.
So I turned that down. Then it's like Sean's like, okay, be ready in August. So I've been ready like to fight for months. And then we got the call for Ramis. And they said it was going to be in November. So that's fine, but August, September, October, November. So that was 3.5 months. Like, so I had to take a week off to like not peak too early. And then it took him like almost 3 weeks to sign the damn contract.
Yeah.
I signed that shit that next day, like in the morning. Let's sign this shit. It took him more than 2 weeks to sign it. So I thought the bout agreement was done, but it took him 2 weeks. I don't know. Who knows?
All right. Yeah. So this is your first fight during like all this COVID stuff in the UFC. What do you think of that? Do you like that? Like, you see some cases, like you hear the fighters, they can hear the other corner, and honestly, it helps them sometimes. You never know.
Yeah. No. I mean, I like watching it. I like hearing the punches and hearing the shit. And you can hear when people are tired. It's more real. Like, it's more primal. When you got the crowd, it kind of makes it more sportish. And also with the judges, like, you know, you could tell who the fan favorite is, and the judges sway, the fans could sway the judges, who they want to win and who they like more. But I think when it's quiet, you just really get to watch and see who's winning who. And it's going to be like in the gym.
Okay.
You know, just you can hear your corners. It's just you and him. You know, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you think fighting in a 20-foot octagon will help you compared to a 30-foot octagon?
It's 24 feet, but you know he's just going to be closer. I don't got to move a bunch for this guy. Like he's not a fucking like all-American wrestler. And even if he is, like I train with all-American wrestlers, and I do wonderful. You know.
Yeah.
He has some good takedowns, but he's like a bull. You know. He just he thinks he wants to get close to me. He thinks he does. He has to. If all your wins are by submission, you have to grapple. So his only way to win is to grapple. He could act like he's a striker and he's gonna strike, and there's good guys on his team that strike, which they are. But if you win all your fights by submission and you're a grappler, you don't like getting punched. You just don't. You don't. You can say whatever you want, but if you spend your whole career grappling, you don't like getting punched. You just don't.
Yeah.
Period. So I'm gonna punch him, kick him, knee and elbow him, give him some work, and he's not gonna want to be near me. You know. Then I'm gonna hunt him down, put him down.
So you're coming off a split decision loss back in March. It was a very close fight. How motivated are you right now to get a win this weekend and get back in that
I just
winning
gotta
column?
be me. I just gotta be me. You know. You know, these small little situations in the fight. It's like I'm beating myself. So to fight this kind of guy, you know, he's brand new in the UFC, he's fresh meat.
Green.
Yeah, I'm gonna get him. Even, you know, for me, I fought Kobe Covington my first fight. It's like, it's a whole different thing when you get here and you're in the UFC now. I was a rookie, you know.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago. Yeah, I fought probably almost 5 years ago, because I fought last election in Mexico.
Oh wow.
Eric Montano the same weekend and knocked him out. In like 40 seconds or something, you know. And that was my second fight. So just like the growth over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years is crazy. 5 years. You know what I mean? It's like I couldn't hold a candle to me back then. Like totally different person. And he's gonna be the same. He's new, and I'm gonna teach him a lesson. You know.
Yeah, we certainly can't wait for that fight this weekend. It's going to be a great fight. But one of the things we've been doing now after UFC 254, we've been asking all the fighters we have on who they think the GOAT of the sport is. You know, a lot of people are saying Khabib is. Who do you think is the greatest of all time?
Fucking A, man. It's I don't know. We were going back and forth with it. There's a lot of talk about Khabib because what he's been doing and is spectacular. How he beat Gaethje. I lost money on Gaethje. You know, I bet on him. And, I'm not mad though. Like Khabib did that. He put the pressure on and he wins. He's never lost a round, never been cut, never this and that. And I think, and Jones was talking all this shit, how, you know, he had 14 titles and all this shit. Like, but he's a piece of shit. He's not a good person, you know. I think that matters. I do. He just talk, you know. The GOAT isn't just your record, you know. You know, he's done a lot of shit outside the sport and inside the sport. The steroid shit, crashing in a lady, fucking, just all his antics. Like, you know, he's disrespectful to a bunch of people, and he's not the nicest person. And I think that matters. I'd say he'd be the GOAT if all that shit didn't happen. If he didn't got cut on the steroids, if he didn't do all that shit, you know. He has like 8 things he did, like throughout his career, which are like, come on. I think he'd be the GOAT if all that shit didn't happen.
Yeah, certainly like the steroids and all that. That's something that's gonna hold him back in the GOAT talk, I guess, because you're gonna have like so many people saying like, "Nah, he had an advantage when he was fighting during that."
He did. You know, he did. I mean, he did. Whether
Yeah.
he says it or not, but he was caught. But it's more of his attitude. You know, if he would have said not even change the story, but just how he is, just how arrogant he is. It's not a good look, man. For me,
Yeah.
anyway. I just don't like. First, he was talking good about Khabib, like, and then the next night he's talking all this shit how he ain't shit. Like, people
Yeah.
that I don't like people like that. I don't like people that are fake and, um, you know. But who's the GOAT? I don't know, man. Habib.
Who would be your top 3 list if you had to pick 3 people? Who would be on your top 3?
I say the people in the mix. I can't do 3. It's Habib, Jones, GSP. GSP. Who else?
Demetrius Johnson, he could be in there.
Yeah, I think he's because he's small. I feel like it's and who he beat. Like, he did the damn thing. But yeah, we talked about that. I just don't think,
Okay.
I just don't.
What about like Anderson Silva or maybe
Anderson
even
Silva?
Stipe?
I would say. See, that's the thing. Like, right? Like when he watched the fight the other day, it showed all his highlights and all his shit in a row. 16 title wins straight, and for years, like he would have been the GOAT if he quit, right?
Yeah.
And then he's lost 8 in a row or whatever. And he got knocked out 7 times. It's like this GOAT shit's hard because it's like sequences of time. Like if he would have stopped, he'd be a GOAT flat out. If he would have stopped
Yeah.
for that Weidman thing, he would have been the GOAT. But then he lost 7 out of 8 and got knocked out 7 times. So is he the
Yeah.
GOAT? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
who do you think's the GOAT?
So you know how Israel Adesanya, he's only been in the UFC for 2 years. I'm not saying he's the GOAT right now, but like he's going
He
up to
has
that to
potential.
205. Yeah, would you call him maybe the
He
baby
has
GOAT?
potential.
Maybe.
He has potential. No, Izzy's nasty, bro. He's cool as fuck too. He's a good person.
Yeah.
He's cool. But he's nasty in there, man. He has potential for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been so dominant in there.
How do you think a fight between him and Joe's goes if they ever fight? 5-round main event.
At 205,
Yeah.
Yeah, it would probably be at 205.
I'd have to go with Adesanya. And that might be like a personal thing, because I don't really like him really. Just how he carries himself. He's a better striker, but Jones is a better all-around wrestler and striker. But not. I think a kickboxing match would be Adesanya,
Okay.
but it would be a good fight. But when you got the wrestling, the height, it would be a good fight. That's a fight I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to see that. Izzy's been saying 2021 Raider Stadium, but who knows? We'll see what happens. But one of the things we do at our interviews, we ask all our fighters random questions. So for you, what's your favorite cheat meal during like when you're not fighting or after a fight? What do you like to eat the most?
Cheat meal. The funny thing is, I eat like whatever I want all the time. Like, I love round table pizza. So I eat like a whole large pizza, whole large pepperoni pizza. Then I feel like shit for like 2 days.
Yeah.
But I eat what I want, man. I used to be on this diet, man, where you're weighing all your stuff and putting it in the app and counting the grams in your meat and shit, like all this unnecessary shit, bro. And then I figured it out. What works for me, and I eat whatever I want.
Awesome.
Any place. I mean, I don't only eat burgers all day, but I could eat anywhere as long as I have protein, veggies, fats, carbs before a workout. I eat so much food, bro. Like last night, you look at my Instagram, bro. I had like this biggest Mediterranean thing, 2 kebabs, this big, it's like 4 pounds of food, bro.
Oh, wow.
Today, I eat so much food. Like I said, I woke up at 70, 75. So
Yeah.
I'm a fucking metabolizing engine, bro.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Well,
coming.
Max,
Good luck this weekend. If you want to thank any sponsors or anything, the floor is yours, man.
Man, I have so many sponsors. I wish I could. Can I just turn my shirt around?
sure.
Can I do that? Can you see him or no?
Yeah, that works. Yep. That sure looks cool. Where do I get one of those?
You get them at maxpainstore.com, bro. maxpainstore.com. I kind of need longer hair because my shit grew after this, but we fighting, baby. I'm gonna be in a comic book in a month. So the guy who Impound Comics, he's on Instagram, but I'm gonna be in that comic. But yeah, man, I'm doing big things. Shout out to my supporters. Shout out to my fans. I got my own line of CBD, Max Pain CBD. Go to maxpaincbd.com. I'll even probably send you guys some if you send me your address and all that stuff. Send you a little package.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I got my own line. I got a baby on the way in February, a boy. I'm just loving my life, man, and trying to make this shit happen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good
Thank you
luck.
so much for coming on, man. Good luck this weekend.
For sure, yeah. When you figure this out or it gets done, send it to me. I'll share it.
Yeah.
And I'll send you guys a package.
Yeah.
Get
Cool.
one of these shirts. maxpainstore.com.
All right, I definitely will. The shirts are cool.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
Catch
guys.
you, man.
Thank you both. Hell yeah.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel amazing, bro.
Yeah.
So, Ian, did you have any specific training partners for this fight to help you with the style of Brendan Allen?
Honestly, I just trained with so many different bodies. Nate Marquardt, Neil Magny, Roman. I don't know his last name. He's a 205 from Georgia. He's not from the state, the country, Georgia. Trained with Puna. Trained with all different guys, man. There was so many different bodies. I didn't do too much specific training. I feel like he's pretty basic, so I just trained with taller guys as much as I could, and I feel ready.
All right, so let's just get right into it. Your fight with Brendan Allen next week. How do you think you match up with him?
Oh, I match up great, man. I'm the more experienced vet in there. I fought these top 10 guys, Brunson and Akhmedov, and had some close decision lessons. And I feel like it's time to give Brendan Allen a lesson, and so I can keep climbing the rankings.
Yeah, after Brendan's last win, he called you out and he said you can't run forever. What was your initial reaction when you heard this?
The kid's been talking smack every time he gets a mic about me. I've never really personally really talked to him. We had some exchanges on Twitter back in LFA.
Yeah.
He's doing the right thing. He's calling out a ranked guy. But him attacking like my personal and just talking crazy without even knowing who I am. I believe that's just fear, and he's got to do what he's got to do to hype himself up.
Yeah.
But I match up so well against him. He's not comfortable on the feet. It shows. He rushes in. He did get his face broken by this debut guy that he fought last, who I believe was a 70er.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, he could have lost that fight. My grappling's superior, and my clinch and wrestling is too. So it's going to be a long night for him, but it's going to be an exciting fight because he's aggressive. I'm aggressive. So it'll be one for the fans, but I feel like I'm going to put him away early or late in the fight.
Okay. Now, like when someone calls you out, like does that motivate you to silence them even more and get a big win over them?
Yeah, absolutely. Before this, his teammate Gerald Mearshart called me out.
Yeah.
I silenced him. Now I'm going to silence him, and then whoever wants it next, whether it's Vittori who's been calling me out or any of these guys, I mean Shabazian, I'll keep answering that phone call when guys are calling me out, and it gives you that motivation. You're like, oh, okay, you really want this? All right, let's see. So yeah, I like it.
Exactly.
So Ian, you said that you think you match up very well with Brendan Allen. So how do you see yourself winning against him next week?
I think I'm gonna KO him early in the fight with him coming in and just getting crazy, just trying to get me to the ground. Or if that doesn't happen, I believe I'll wear him down. We'll scramble. It'll be up, down, and then he'll start to slow down, and I'll finish him late in the fight.
Okay. So say you win next weekend, you come at the fight healthy, like you just said, you knock him out early. Would you want another fight before 2020 ends, or do you want to wait until 2021?
No, absolutely. In COVID times, plans change every single day. So I'm not really
Yeah.
too attached to anything. But God willing, I go in there, I smash Brendan Allen like I plan on. I would love to get a fight on that December 19th card with Hamazat. I think he's the one who's the main event on that.
Yeah.
I would love to get a quick turnaround and get a fight on that. I was bummed I couldn't get a quick turnaround after my last fight. I got hurt the week after, and so that was a bummer. But I want to take advantage of these COVID times and rack up these wins and get quick turnarounds. So I'm ready to step in there and get another fight this year.
Yeah, now speaking of all this COVID stuff, obviously we don't have fans, you don't have that excitement, like you get a good knockout. What do you prefer though? Because one of the interesting things with no fans is you can hear the other people's corner. You can even hear the announcers. You hear stories of the fighter saying, "I heard the announcer say this and it helped me during the fight." So do you like it with no fans, or do you like fans in the arena?
I like the experience of no fans because it's helped me learn about myself more, about how the audience, the crowd affects my emotions in the fight,
Yeah,
kind of gets me off my game plan. In Argentina, if you're not giving each other brain damage for like 1 second, they boo you. And
yeah,
then you kind of get like hyped and you just try to like start cracking. And then when I dropped Derek Brunson in the first round in Anaheim, I remember the crowd was so electric. I was the first one
yeah,
on pay per view. I almost held my breath and tensed up. So, and then this last fight, when I dropped Mearshart, I was like, all right, be calm. This dude's really known for like weathering the storm and subbing guys. So I was relaxed. I was calm. And I feel like I can bring that same, mentality into where the crowd is. But then obviously, after getting a knockout, it's crickets. So you don't really get that climax that you want. So,
yeah.
I hope it goes back to having fans pretty soon, but I really appreciate the time that it didn't have fans and just learning about myself.
Yeah, and now a lot of fighters, obviously, you're nervous before the walkout. Now, are the nerves less with no fans, or are they the same thing because you got an opponent on the other side trying to take your head off, basically?
Bro, the nerves are so much less. It's such a difference. That's why like so many guys are new to the UFC,
Yeah,
and you're going to see a lot of them, once the crowd is back in full force walking into a stadium with 17,000 fans screaming. I mean,
yeah,
it is like so different. You almost look up and like get like that anxiety just from that many fans. So yeah, it's so different. And I feel like a lot of these guys who haven't experienced it, it's going to be tough for them when it does come back. And yeah, it's definitely more pressure when you have 15-20,000 people screaming and ready to watch your fight. Right there, when you walk out no fans, you're like, oh, it's kind of like sparring.
yeah. One of the things I wanted to ask
So
you real quick is like, when do those nerves go away? Like after the first punch, during when Bruce Buffer's announcing your name, when does it usually go away?
um yeah, I mean, I feel like the closer and closer I get to the cage, the more they start going away. And once I'm in that cage, Bruce Buffer's announcing my name. They're like, "Fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready?" And it's just like, "All right, here we go again. Let's go." And it's just kind of from there on, I don't really remember too much of like, "Oh my gosh, I'm nervous." It's just ready to go to war.
Yeah.
So Ian, you're coming off a big win. You finished your last opponent in the first round. Does getting a win like that help you with your next fight, or do you just take it one fight at a time?
Yeah, no, getting a big win like that, I'm a finisher, man, and I was knocking guys out in the regional scene in LFA, and then I had a bunch of decisions. I haven't fought I've fought top level guys, top 20,
Yeah.
every single guy I fought, and most of them top 15. So, I think it's just me being more comfortable in there, taking my time. I switched my camp around. I got a coach that fits my style a little bit better with my movement and finding big knockout punches. And So I think it's just me being more comfortable, and getting that knockout on a big win like that gives me confidence, and confidence in the hype is everything. So it gives me both of those, and that's going to definitely help me this fight.
Yeah. And I know you don't want to look past your opponent. I mean, you're fighting him next week, but do you have any specific opponent you want after this one?
I feel, I'm kind of the guy at the very end of the rankings, and I was ranked number 10, maybe 8 months ago, a year ago. So I've had to prove myself against these up and coming guys. Mearshart was on like a 4 fight win streak. Brendan Allen's on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak, undefeated in the UFC. And I feel like once I put him away and I put Mearshart away, I think I've earned my spot to be able to fight a ranked guy and continue to climb. So Edmund Shabazian, any of these guys who are not booked up, I feel that I'm ready to start climbing the ladder again.
Okay. And now,
Okay.
so this is your second fight this year. Both of them are at the Apex Center. Does going to Fight Island interest you at all, or are you looking to stay in Vegas with all your fights now?
No, I mean, I hear, Fight Island's not amazing, but
Yeah.
oh, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Yeah.
There we go. But I'm the type of guy, I love adventure, man. I love to experience like something like that. And just the thought of flying to an island in the middle of the desert in Abu Dhabi, that's right up my alley, man. So yeah, I would like to definitely at some point get that experience and fight on Fight Island. And but I'm kind of grateful that I don't have to make that travel and pay for flights and all that stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I'm excited to be able to fight in Vegas, but hopefully in the future I'll get that opportunity.
Okay. And now, last few things here. Thank you for coming on again. The
Yeah,
champion of your division, Dana White, just said he will be moving up to fight in the 205 division to get a second belt. Now, are you a fan of this double champ thing? Because you see a lot, like when this happens, then the divisions kind of stall a little bit. But like, what are your thoughts on this?
yeah, if I was like the number 2 guy or top 5, I would be a little concerned,
Yeah.
because like you said, it stalls the division. For me right now, I don't really care, man. If he wants to go test himself, let me do my thing on the back end and climb those rankings. And when I get to the top 5, timing's everything. And I think he'll be back around then. And I want to be the first guy to beat Israel Adesanya.
Yeah. What did you think of his last fight against Paulo Costa?
I felt like he executed, man. He's an executor. He's got skill, and
Yeah.
I feel like Paulo Costa really beat himself. The hype got to him. He's running, chasing around him, throwing kicks.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're knocking people out with your hands. What are you doing? And I felt like he was like a fish out of water and trying to taunt the dude when the dude's piecing him up and chopping his legs. It's like, bro, focus. Like, once you start cracking and make it a real fight, then you can do your little taunts and stuff. So I feel like Paulo Costa really beat himself, but man, yeah, Izzy's got skills, and that's why I think one part of my legacy would be to be the first guy to beat him.
Okay.
Speaking of the champ Adesanya, there's been a lot of talk about him moving up to a 205 to fight Jan Blachowicz
Yeah.
and try to get that double champ status. How you feel about that?
Yeah, like I just said, he can do his thing. That's kind of cool to see a champ go up and test himself or go down and test himself. I don't mind the double champ thing. But like I just said, if I was a top 5 guy waiting and I was my turn for the next shot at the title, I would be pissed. But it's not. So I'm working my way up. I'll be doing my thing and he can do his. And it's all about timing, man. And we're going to meet up sometime.
Okay. And so one of the things we do at the end of the interviews, we like to ask fighters random questions. So for you, what is your favorite cheat meal after the fight, or while you don't have a fight? Like, what's your favorite cheat meal?
Cake and ice cream.
Cake and ice cream. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank
like
you for coming
sweets,
on.
man.
It was really great speaking with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Thank you,
if
guys.
you want to thank any sponsors or anything, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Just everyone out there, follow me. Ian Heinisch MMA. That's my Instagram handle, and my Twitter handle is the same thing. Ian the Hurricane Heinisch is my fan page on Facebook. Follow me. Check out my sponsors, guys. I only get sponsored by companies I believe in and that I use. I will not just take money just to promote a company that I'm not using in my regiment. So check out all my sponsors throughout this week. Follow the journey. The journey's been incredible, and hopefully I can make it to Thailand after this fight or after the next fight, 2021, and just continue to follow me, man, and tune in this Saturday. It's going to be fireworks, man. This kid's aggressive. I'm super aggressive. He's talking smack. We're going to meet in the middle. I'm going to put him to sleep.
Yeah, man. Good luck
All right,
Saturday.
awesome.
Can't
Thank
wait.
you.
And maybe we'll check up again after your fight.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, no
Awesome.
problem.
All
Have
your
a good one.
support, man. Appreciate you guys. Have a good one. See ya.
Thank you. Welcome back to another episode. Ryan here with MMA Sucka and MMA Island. Today we have on Miranda Maverick, who's coming off a win at UFC 254, and she made her UFC debut that night too. Miranda, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
And yeah, but before we get into your win, how was your whole experience in Abu Dhabi and Fight Island, basically?
It was really good. Like, obviously, I got a lot of exposure being out there. The last card in Abu Dhabi of 2020,
Yeah.
especially with such a big card. Like, it was basically the biggest and best of 2020 so far. And then Habib and Gaethje running the main card made it quite a lot of exposure compared to other fights that I've had, obviously.
Yeah. And now I know you had the quarantine for 2 days because I heard about other fighters having to do that. How was that? Were you able to train with anyone, or you had to do that by yourself to prepare?
I trained by myself, and then one of my corners was in my room and just helped me like do warm ups and hold pads a little bit. So it wasn't horribly bad, and luckily my weight cut wasn't too bad, thanks to a lot of sponsors and help with my meal prep.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that big of a deal not being able to train full blast for 2 days.
Yeah. Now, how was it adjusting the fight that early in the morning with all the time zone difference? Because what time did you have to fight at? Wasn't it like very early in Abu Dhabi?
I believe so, but or no, it wasn't very early. It was
Okay.
early in the United States. We were 8 hours later in Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi time, it was regular compared to the
Okay.
United States.
Yeah.
So basically, I just changed my sleep schedule to be the local time in Abu Dhabi.
Okay. Sounds good. And now to your fight, how did the training camp go for this fight, your UFC debut?
Amazing. I was in the best shape of my life. Finally got my nutrition the way I wanted it to be, walking around looking like a pro fighter instead of just the last few weeks before fight camp. Uh, this time was amazing. Coaches were on point. I was doing pad sessions with my coaches several times per week. We were getting in the striking, the wrestling, the grappling, all of it, even during all the COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
So it was a really good camp.
So yeah, you made your UFC debut. How happy were you with the win? Like, how exciting was it when the ref said it's over and you got the win?
It was pretty exciting. I was pretty emotional, but at the same time, I wish it wouldn't have been over that way. I wanted to put hands on her. I was ready to go into the next round. But yeah, I interrupted my coach. I was like, stop. You don't have to tell me what to do anymore. Look, like,
Yeah.
I won.
Now, so you're walking to the octagon. How nervous were you? Or were you or you were not nervous at all? Like, you couldn't wait to make your UFC debut. What was that like?
Yeah, I'd say more excitement than nervousness. I don't really have nervousness anymore. I give my nervousness and anxiety to God and know
Yeah.
that for me, I walk in there with every ability and the potential that I have. So I prepared harder than she did and better than she did and anybody else in this division. So I know going in there that what's going to happen is going to happen, and I did my best.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so speaking of that, you landed a big elbow, cut up her nose pretty bad. Now, was that part of the game plan going up to this fight, or did you just see that opportunity in the octagon and you were like, oh, let me try and do this?
Well, the game plans always vary, Game
Okay.
plans is very vague term that people use. Like there's the game plan to go in there and win a fight,
Yeah.
And so we have all these different combinations and things that we worked. And one of them was to start integrating the elbow into my striking technique. So in training, we had worked on that. And I even brought up while we were doing our first like pad session after my weigh-ins, I was like, ooh, what about this? I'll like fake a takedown, come up with an elbow. And we were like, oh yeah, that would work. And so that's kind of what I ended up doing. I just saw she was dropping her head every time she would throw. She wasn't looking at me. So it just came straight up the middle with that elbow, and it landed 2 times previous to the cut. So obviously she was susceptible to it, and it
Yeah.
landed.
Yeah. And now Liliana, she said in an interview after the fight that she thought she was winning the first round. And then she said, like, you shouldn't be happy with your performance or something. What are your whole thoughts on that?
Yeah, I saw that interview, and it's pretty amusing. My thoughts on that are the judges released their scorecards.
Yeah.
People scored it all across the internet, both on her side and against me, and for my side. And I didn't see a single person that scored that round for her.
Yeah.
But, some people are just remain unhumble and relenting of losing after their fight. So she was one of them. Unfortunately, she has this big fan base, and a lot of them would be like, "Yeah, you're right, you won." And
Yeah.
so I guess why not? If you have that personality and need that affirmation, then go for it. I don't really get bothered by it. I won the fight. It's a win on my record. Dana told me I did good and I got paid and went home. Like,
Yeah.
that's the end of the story. I'm going to the next one. I'm not having a rematch against her or any of that nonsense. I would have won no matter what the outcome was.
Yeah, you see that a lot with like fan bases after a fight. Like if a doctor stoppage happens, like I don't know, you probably saw Nate Diaz versus George Masvidal last year, the doctor stoppage. A lot of
Mhm.
his fans were saying not a fair stoppage, but like if you looked at it, like it was pretty cut open badly. But the fans will always have like a different opinion of you.
Yeah, of course, and none of them are doctors usually,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's all good.
So how do you think the fight would have played out in the second round if it didn't get stopped? Her nose was cut up that bad. Like, do you think anything would have changed?
Absolutely. She would have had way more stitches and it would have been very hard for her to recover. Like, people were saying
Yeah,
that were doctors. Like, that cut was bad enough. Had I kept opening it and opening it, it would have been much harder for her to have patched it up and stuff. Because her nose was already a target. Like, I had made it bleed literally like the second punch I threw. So I
okay.
was targeting it the whole time. Had I done the same thing in round two, like, she wouldn't have been able to breathe. Her nose would have been broken and she'd be hurt right now.
Yeah. Now, so we just talked about how the fan bases have different opinions if the fight gets stopped. Now, for the people that say the fight got stopped too early, what are your response to them? Like, what are your response to like Liana's fans saying that fight shouldn't have been stopped and she would have came back and won that fight if it didn't get stopped?
I don't even have a response,
Okay.
like, you can have your own belief kind of thing. It's if you watch that, you're just delusional, and
Yeah.
that's not my issue. I
Okay.
shouldn't. People are like, oh, you should give her a rematch and this and that. If she had went the second round with me, she would have gotten hurt worse.
Yeah.
And the people who don't think that, that's fine. They can keep watching her rise through the ranks, and if the occasion presents itself, I guess I will fight her again. But I doubt she'll ever get there.
Okay. And now to like the future now, do you think we see you back before 2020 ends or are you looking to get back there maybe like early 2021?
I'm hoping to get back there before 2020 ends, but
Okay.
unfortunately, that's not up to me. I've told them what times I'm available. McMaynard is in process of trying to find me a matchup. Spoken with my management, gave them the times I'm off school, and so we're
Yeah.
working on it.
Okay. Oh, so you're in school right now?
Yeah,
Oh,
yep,
so
I
how
am.
is it managing that school and fighting in the UFC and training? How is that all?
It's hard,
Yeah.
people. That's like one of the biggest things I get asked. It's just a lot of work, scheduling, and planning everything ahead of time, and making sure I can prioritize.
Yeah. Okay. And now for your next fight, do you have any specific opponent you want, or you just want to get in there, keep fighting, keep winning, get up in the rankings, and then get to that title shot like everyone wants?
I don't have a specific, but there's several names that have already been put in the pot, so to speak. I have a lot of people I've already asked, like, who should I fight? Who should I
Yeah.
fight? Some of the names that pop up that I'd be interested in are like Jillian Robertson
Okay.
or Montana De La Rosa. I want a top 15 and I want to keep moving on from there.
Yeah.
What I think would be like the dream fight right now um, is to fight Chukagian. Like, I just
Okay.
think that would be a good fight for me, and she's really high up the rankings, but I think I would win that fight, no problem.
Yeah, that would be a good fight. But last thing here, whenever we have fighters on the show, we like to get their predictions on certain fights. And now the champ of your division, Valentina Shevchenko, she's fighting Jennifer Maia this month. I think it's like 2 weeks or something. How
Mhm.
do you see this fight playing out?
I think it's no contest. Valentina's gonna wipe the floor with Maya. I like Maya, I respect her, but I just don't see anybody in the division right now that's
Okay.
about to take her off her throne.
Yeah. And now, I know it's way too early, like, to talk about this, but like, how would like you see a fight with Valentina playing out with you? Like, how do you see that playing out? And are you looking forward to that? Like, do you train every day motivated to fight Valentina?
That's pretty much exactly what it is. I don't go
Okay.
into the fight for Liana. I don't go into it for anybody else. I go in there for whoever's the champ.
Yeah.
Right now it's Valentina, but I don't care who it is. I'm always fighting and training the best I can to beat whoever is the champion at that time. Um, But for me, like when I get to that point, nobody's really tested her on the ground. We don't really know what her ground game even looks like right
Yeah.
now. So I would push that. That would be the key thing that I would do is instead of waiting until I'm dead tired and getting beat up like all these other girls do to shoot for a desperation takedown, I think you take her down early and test her skills on the ground.
Yeah, hopefully we get that in the future, but it was really great speaking with you. Thank you for coming on. Congrats on the win. And if you want to thank any sponsors, shout out any social media or anything, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. If you guys are watching, fans can go follow me at Fear the Maverick on Twitter or on Instagram. It's at Fear the Maverick _HOMT. My name's pretty rare out there, so if you look me up, you'll find me. It's Miranda Maverick. Thank you to all my sponsors. You'll see them on my link tree on Instagram if you go and look. And then, of course, my gym, the House of Muay Thai, and my gym that I started out at, Springfield Fight Club, and then my family, and God as always.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. I'll check up with you after your next fight or before it,
All
maybe.
right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good
Mhm.
one.
You too.
And now, before we get into that one, I just wanted to ask you, how was the training camp for that fight? Your first UFC fight.
Man, it was more of the same, man. I just kept everything the same, man. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
We kept the same mentality throughout the whole entire time. We never got comfortable. We just kept pushing forward and just kept training, man. That was our biggest thing, just to keep training, because just because we're there doesn't mean we're actually there. We had to keep working to stay there. So it's exactly how I took it.
Okay. Kevin.
So you were originally supposed to fight Aaron Phillips. Did the late opponent change at all, or were you just ready to get in there?
Oh man, yeah, I was just ready to get in there. Just because, man, like in the regional circuit, an opponent change can happen like at the drop of a dime, man. There's been plenty of times where I've had an opponent switch the week of. So there's been like literally in one of my amateur fights, it was an opponent switch like the day before weigh-ins.
Wow.
So there's like it's happened before. So I just usually just focus on myself. I really don't focus on what my opponent's doing or anything like that. I want to hone my own skills, and you know, I want them to worry about me, not me worry about them.
Yeah.
So now to your fight all week, when you were thinking about how your fight plays out, did you see yourself getting it done like that and finishing him in the first round?
I've pictured it happening like that plenty of times, man. I've actually called the head kick. I was telling my training partner all week, he's like, man, I think I'm gonna land the head kick. The head kick, I think is one of those things that's gonna finish him off. I did see like a little tendencies from the video I was watching his last fight. So I saw some tendencies, man. So I was like, you know what? I know I can land it. I'm gonna throw it up there whenever I believe it's there, and whenever I threw it at the perfect time. So that's exactly how I thought it was gonna go.
Yeah, speaking of that leg kick now, was that part of the game plan with your coaches, or was that you just saying like, I think I'm gonna land? It's like, did your coaches expect that to happen?
No, we usually just train everything and we drill everything, just in case for spots like this. But it was weird because like we never really had drilled like off the cage like
Yeah.
that. But that Monday before we took off to Vegas, we're actually drilling it. We were actually drilling it, but my coach has only seen the other guy fight once, and he really didn't do no film study for him. I kind of did most of it, but I didn't really watch too much. Like I only watched his fight like 3 or 4 times, and just
Okay.
like, all right, cool, that's it. But honestly, it kind of just flowed into what we usually do.
Yeah.
It just kind of flowed into it.
Okay. So now you finish your opponent in the contender series in the first round. You finish your opponent in the first round UFC debut. How does it feel right now? You're having a huge 2020 right now.
Oh yeah, man, it feels great. Like man, like yeah, I didn't expect my 2020 to be like this. It like at the beginning of the year, everything was a little kind of funky. Especially like I like before this whole pandemic even went on, I was planning to fight like 2 or 3 more times before I even got the shot to even do on the contenders.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get on a couple fight win streak because I knew that, especially the fights that I was taking, I was like, I didn't know if my record was good enough to be in the UFC and all that, but man, lo and behold, got in the contenders with this whole pandemic going on, and then got my UFC debut with a couple months later, and here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you made your UFC debut. How nervous were you getting ready to walk out there? Like, did you have any nerves, or were you not nervous at all?
Man, it was weird because I felt weird because I thought I was gonna be more nervous than what I was. I wasn't nervous at all. It was just like one of those things that I was trying to manufacture, like myself being mad, and like halfway through my walkout, that's when I just like kind of just realized like, man, it's like just enjoy it. Like
Yeah.
you were trying not to enjoy something that you worked your ass off for. So as soon as I started walking halfway through, I was like, man, no, like I'm here. I'm here. I've worked
Yeah.
my ass off to get here. So like don't this like whatever you feel it. Don't go out there and try to manufacture uh like being mad or anything like that. No, I walked in there, I was happy. I knew what I wanted to do. So once I walked in that cage and just took a deep breath and walked in there, I was like, I'm about to make my UFC debut.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when Dana White said that you get a $50,000 bonus, how good did that feel? I mean, you're having such a big year right now.
Oh yeah, man. Shoot, man. That that made me jump up and go crazy, man. Cause I like actually I didn't even find out until later. My manager actually called me.
Oh, wow.
He's like, hey, let me just call you right quick. I was like, okay. Called me. He's like, hey, just let me know whenever you're gonna come down to the house because he lives in Vegas. He's like, let me know whenever you're gonna come down to the house, and because we got the party going here. We got everybody like all the fighters that were there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, yeah. And you have 50, and you got, and you're 50 G's richer. I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, you got it, man. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy, man. So yeah, it was a pretty good night, man. It was a really, really good night. I'm just happy that was
That's awesome.
able to be a part of it, man.
Yeah, highlight reel KO, $50,000 richer. And now, so do you think we'll see you back before 2020 ends, or are you looking to get back there in 2021?
Man, it depends, man. I gotta see how everything goes.
Okay.
This whole this whole pandemic is starting to ease up
Yeah.
slowly but surely, and Texas MMA is like starting to open back up. So right now, my training partners, they've all helped me for my contenders fight, nonstop. They've helped me nonstop for my contenders fight, and then they've trained with me nonstop for this UFC debut. And now they're finally gonna get their chance to finally fight December 12th. If I was gonna fight, I wanted to fight December 19th.
Okay.
So it's still stuck up in the air for me, because man, they gave me their full attention, and I feel like I need to repay the favor for them, because like they were grinding whenever I was, they were helping me so much. Oh, there
Oh,
he
yeah.
goes. Yeah. It's like, and they were helping me so much that man, it like I would feel bad if I didn't go out there and help them. So I'm gonna go out there and help them, and just depending to see if the schedule permits it, then I'll take the fight December 19th. But from what it's looking like, you might see me in January or February.
Okay. And now, like, say you, after you're done helping your partners, you go back in there in December or it's January. Do you have any specific opponent you want, or you just want to get right back in there and just keep on winning?
Man, I want to get right back in there. I really don't care who it is. I know my management team was trying to get that Aaron Phillips fight back. So if we can get that fight back, that'd be pretty cool. Two strikers going at it. That would be ideal for me. But it doesn't matter, man. I got into I'm in the 135 division, man. The 135 division is the most stacked division in the UFC, I believe. Uh, so I'm gonna have to face killers all day, every day. So it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm gonna have to face a tough guy every single time I go in there. So it doesn't matter.
All right. And
So did fighting on the Contender Series? Oh, you go.
oh,
Say what you're
so
saying.
did fighting on the Contender Series help you prepare for your UFC debut at all? Like, knowing what fight week was kind of like and dealing with the nerves?
Man, I'll say yes and no. just because I feel like the UFC fight week was way less stressful.
Yeah.
Like the UFC and like my management team got with the UFC about trifecta and getting me and my meal set up. So I didn't have to worry about the weight cut. Like I was like everything that we are doing like was all timed strictly timed and everything. And the Dana White Contender Series, you really don't have that option and everything. There's a lot of things that go into it, and plus like the contenders, uh, you're stressing out because it's almost like you're going in for an audition.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're gonna get the part. So like even if you do win, there's no good chance that you're gonna get a UFC contract. So it was a lot less stressful. It was a lot less stressful going into a UFC fight, but the stakes are higher. You're fighting in the UFC. Uh, you're out to a wider audience, so it there is a little bit of jitters, man. But at the same time, it was a lot easier for me to deal with the UFC fight week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like fighting on the same card as a legend like Anderson Silva, and that being his last fight allegedly too?
Yeah, man. It was one of those things that like for me was very, very like it made me feel like, dude, like cloud nine, because that's a guy who I looked up to. I know a lot of us fighters try to emulate him, just because, dude, like the guy was a striking genius, man. He was making everybody miss, making them look bad. That Forrest Griffin fight, you can always revert back to that. That one was really good. Then you have the Vitor Belfort head kick, front kick, and then all of a sudden you have the Stephen Bonner knee off the fence. Like, dude, that all of these are like amazing fights and amazing finishes, man. So of course, like somebody idolized. I would have never thought to have like been shared the same card that he was on. So to me, it was really great. It was really really great, and it was a great experience. And then actually like getting to take a picture with him, best experience of my life.
Wow.
Yeah. So now there's so much talk about on who's the GOAT of the sport. After the Khabib win, you see a lot of people out there saying he's the GOAT. Who do you think is the greatest of all time?
Dude, I'll take. There's two picks for me, two picks, and I'll explain them. I'll explain them. Uh, GSP
Okay.
is three, but GSP is three, but no restrictions, John Jones.
Okay.
No restrictions is John Jones. But with the restrictions and USADA and everything, Khabib. Khabib has like utterly demolished almost every single fighter that's went in there. You know, the level of competition that he's fought only really got good until to the end. But man, the way he's like made it look so easy and almost never lost. I think he's only lost like two rounds. Two rounds.
Yeah. I
Two
think
rounds like that, and that last one was Justin Gaethje. But I think honestly,
Well, yeah, one was to McGregor.
yeah, and it was just I don't know. It was too much. Like he made almost every fight look easy, even against like someone who was even to someone like Conor McGregor, like the stature that he had, like he made it look easy against Conor, and then like just all these other fights that he had, you know, all easy. John Jones, on the other hand, fought legend after legend after legend. You know, of course, like got to give him his props.
yeah.
But the only thing is that USADA. You know, if you get pops, you get the asterisks. I think that for me, it kind of moves you down. You know, but with restrictions, it's Khabib. But without restrictions, hands down, John Jones. If John Jones did everything that he did, but didn't like and also didn't test positive for steroids or steroid or concealers, man, I think he'd be the GOAT hands down, like pound for pound, no questions asked.
Yeah, I just want to mention something. I have this argument with Kevin every single night, and he thinks Stipe Miocic is the GOAT. What do you think about that?
It's kind of hard, but at the same time, it's like I can I can I can see why. I can see the argument because
Yeah.
he beat a Francis Ngannou. He stopped Fabricio Verdum, who was on a tear, and then also he beat Daniel Cormier to get his belt back, not once but
Twice.
twice. And then on the rise. He was beating up anybody and everybody. So I get it. Like I understand. But like, how can I say it? Like John Jones, I'll go this far and just be like John Jones. He's lived through a couple eras. He's lived through a couple eras and he's fought through a couple eras. Like he's fought the first, like the old legends. Then he fought the next guys, like Alexander Gustafsson, DC and them, and then he started fighting the new guys like Reyes and all them. Like he's gone through at least like 3 generations of fighters uh in his time. But Stipe, I think he's only gone through like one cycle is just as champ. So I would definitely give John Jones over Stipe. Uh, but also at the same time, I kind of look at it as like, man, my personal opinion is Prime Cain Velasquez, like
Okay.
at sea level, definitely. I think technique wise and everything, I think he would beat what's it called Stipe. But
Yeah.
same time, man, you can't know, you can't say uh he would or not because they never fought.
Yeah, I mean, I think if John wins the heavyweight belt, I mean, I don't think there's no denying that he's the GOAT, honestly, if you think about it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But last thing here, thank you for coming on again. So we like to ask fighters random questions at the end of interview. So for you, what is your favorite cheat meal while you after a fight or while you're not in training?
Oh dude, man, I love any type of pizza, uh, Italian food, man, just because like all the carbs and the bread, man, I'm a sucker for bread. So man, anything that way, I'll just go ham on it. Dude, I'll eat like a whole extra large pizza by myself. I don't mind it at all. Like after my contenders win, I went to this place down over here in this Texas side. Uh, it's called Mario's Pizza, and bro, like I legitimately ordered an extra large pizza, pepperoni pizza, with the side of the meatball sub, and then also ate my girlfriend's plate. Like, dude, I'm telling you, I'll go crazy, bro. I'll go
Mhm.
freaking crazy on it. So it's just like I was a fat boy. I was a fat boy. So like anytime food's around me and I get a cheat meal, dude, I go extra hard. So
Yeah.
whatever's around
Yeah.
me, honestly.
Wow. Well, man, thank you for coming on. It was great speaking with you. Congrats on the win again. And if you want to thank any sponsors, shout out any social media or anything, the floor is yours, man.
Shoot, man. Thank you very much, man. Just follow me on Instagram at Adrian Yanez 93, Twitter Yanez MMA, and on Facebook you can friend request me or you can follow my MMA fight page at Adrian Yanez MMA. Man, thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, anytime, man. Look forward to your next fight and speak soon.
All right, thank you, bros.
Thanks, man.
All right. Peace out.
Peace
How
out.
was the training camp for your last fight Friday?
Yo, I gotta say, first of all, that background is crazy. Yeah,
Thank you. This is dope, right? Thank you.
No, man, but the training camp was good, man. I started out actually in Vegas because I was with Aljo over there, and just kind of flew back in. I think 3 weeks left to fight, and working with the same old team, man. Ray Longo, Steve Lee, the crew, man, Crispy. Same crew. It's a good crew, man. We put in the work. I had Marab come in. Another good sparring partner, Georgie, helped me out with the boxing. So it was a good camp, man. Very good camp.
Awesome. And how was the weight cut right before the fight going down to 125?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of it, but I make it work.
Yeah.
I make it work. Weight cutting's never easy, but for 125, man, I made it pretty smoothly this time. I was about like 35. I want to say, yeah, 135 about a week out, which is good, which is low for me. So, look,
Mm-hmm.
man, the more I can get there faster, the better, man. So that way I'm used to being at that weight. I don't like sucking too much weight too close to the fight.
Yeah.
So you're coming off an impressive armbar win over Ben Coyle. Did you see yourself getting a win like this?
Dude, not gonna lie, I wanted him to stand up a little bit more.
Okay.
So he'd been talking a little bit of trash in a couple of other interviews, talking about, oh, I never fought anyone like him on the feed, and he's gonna f me up and this and that, right? So I wanted to keep that fight standing. But man, he just gave me that takedown, and I wanted him to sprawl almost. You can kind of see when I grab his leg, I kind of give him a little bit to
Yeah.
make a choice, but
Yeah.
didn't really offer me any defense, man. And then that was it from there.
Yeah.
I was telling these guys, man, but even before the fight, I know he said I was probably gonna take him down, but dude, I could fight wherever. And that fight, I tagged him up on the feet, brought it to the ground, finished him there too. So doesn't matter where we go.
Yeah, well, you certainly did silence him because first round finish pretty good. But you have two pro fights now, one in Bellator and then one in Cage Fury. Both very impressively won. But was there a big difference between Bellator and Cage Fury MMA?
I will say, man, I was feeling the nerves a little bit more for the last one in Bellator. That's just your first time on the big stage, man. You're in the Mohegan Sun Arena. You got so many more seats in the crowd, and they're making such a big deal about it because it's on Paramount Network. So I felt a little bit more pressure on that one, but that kind of helped me ease my way into this one, man. Because once you fight on that big show, I mean, honestly, like, and nothing else can compare. At that point, you just end up realizing that doesn't matter where the ring is, man. It could be in the big show, it could be in the parking lot somewhere. When you step in that ring, you're going in there to fight.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next for you? Do you want to get in the cage one more time before the end of 2020, or are you looking more at
So
like
let's
2021?
run it back, Turbo. Let's get one more. Let's get one more before the end of the year. I've been training all year. I wanted to maybe get like 3 fights in, but obviously the pandemic hit. But dude, if I can get one in, if I can get two in before the end of the year, that'd be fantastic. I just want to keep myself busy, and I don't want to waste any more time, man. I want to make a name for myself in this industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to bring this up. You see on Twitter your teammates like Aljamain Sterling tagging Dana White to sign you. You already have looked really good in the flyweight division. It's very exciting right now. How close do you think you are to getting signed to the UFC?
Look, man, if there's one thing I think the industry right now has kind of showed is that anything could happen in an instant, man. Like I remember just the aura and the craziness when Ally Quinta could be on a day's notice, and now even today on the Contender Series, they had a guy on there who's only 2-0.
Yeah.
I'm 2 myself,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
this is why I can't be on there, and I know where my skill levels is right now, and compared to the other guys in the world and the other guys in my division, man, I know I can beat them. I honestly know I could beat them. And even though I'm 2-0, people could say it's cockiness, but I work hard, man, and I'm confident in my skills. So who says that next 2-0 fighter in the Contender Series can't beat me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there been any talks with the UFC or nothing yet?
No, nothing yet, man. Nothing yet. And I mean, I'm just working my ass off, man. Just trying to get better, man. So that way, when the call does come, I'm as ready as I can be.
Yeah, sounds good. So when COVID hit, fights got canceled for a little bit. Did this help you improve your skill set at all? And do you had all since you had all this time to do very good?
100%, man. That was probably when I made almost huge leaps and jumps in my game, man, was COVID. Because at that point, you had nothing to do but train. We couldn't go anywhere. The gyms were closed. And we were quarantined in the house all day. We might as well set up some mats, start learning some jujitsu, start hitting pads. You know what I mean? So at that point, just it was almost like a blessing in disguise because we really made the most of a bad situation. We could have just sat home and been miserable, but instead we just ended up skill building to the highest degree. And I think you saw that in the fight too, man. I focused a lot on my jiu-jitsu this past quarantine. That was one spot where I felt like I lacked. But I finally got that submission that kind of was eluding me a little bit in my amateur career.
Definitely. So at your gym, you got a coach and Coach Sarah. You train with many good fighters like Aljamain Sterling and Murad Bashvili. How much does training with fighters like this help you? Because they're all top level right now, dominating. How does that help you right now?
Look, man, the team's everything. The team's absolutely everything. Even before this fight, I was helping Marab out as John Dotson for his fight. And I'm helping him and I'm trying to help Marab be the best he could be. But just for the fact that I got to be in there with him twice a week for about 6 weeks, man, of course it's going to get me better. And it's just one of those things, man, where that's why you got to love the team so much because iron really does sharpen iron, man. Me going in there and trying to help Marab ends up helping me, which ends up helping Marab again, and then that helps Aljo, and then that helps, Dennis, and then the next guy, and like everyone ends up just building off of each other, man. And that's when you get a real, a team sense. That's where you get the camaraderie, and that's where you get the real skill building. Look, man, there's only so good you can get when you work by yourself, and when you're trying to work without help. But when you have a team behind you, man, it really is everything.
Definitely.
Yeah. So now to switch up the topic a little bit, so we got to ask you this. Now, there's so much on who's the GOAT of the sport, and after Khabib's recent win, like there's been a lot of debates and everything. Who do you think is the GOAT, the greatest of all time in the MMA?
Man, I was having this argument the other day, man, and I hear some people, man, I can see where they can get Khabib. He's very dominant in the UFC and hasn't lost a round, man. I don't think since that Gleison Tebow fight, at least in my opinion. But man, when you look at dominance, when you look at who's the GOAT, when you look at accolades, when you look at who's beating who in their prime, you gotta go with Georges St-Pierre.
Okay.
Gotta go with Georges St-Pierre, man. I think Khabib has fought really good guys, but the level of competition, man, he wasn't fighting as long as St-Pierre. People forget, man, St-Pierre held that belt for about 6 years, 6 or 7 years, man. It's a very long time.
Yeah.
And before then, he was even fighting tough guys like Matt Hughes. When he lost the belt, he fought BJ Penn, man. So that guy had constantly been fighting the best in the world. I mean, and also he's won 2 belts in 2 different weight classes. I mean, come on, you got to give it to Georges St-Pierre. He's the GOAT.
Yeah.
So your teammate Aljamain Sterling has a big title fight against Peter Yan in December. How do you see that fight playing out?
Oh man, I don't want to. Yeah, I guess I don't want to put the kiss of death on it, but I don't see a reason why we can't get another first round finish like Sandhagen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aljo is so good on the ground, man. It's almost Khabib like, where it's like you don't want to be there because you just know you lost the round. As soon as he gets it to the ground, you lost that round, man. So if Piran gets on his back in that first round, I'm saying that could be game blouses for him, man. Aljo's a problem. I was just training with him the other day, man. He gets your back, it's a problem, man. So Piran's gonna have his hands full.
How's that training camp going for him so far?
Good, man. I mean, he was out here for a little bit. Now he just flew back to Vegas. So he's gonna be out there for the remainder of camp. But man, he was looking sharp as always. Cardio's looking great. Shot selection's looking great. His grappling, of course, is just phenomenal, man. But even his hands and his stand up and his kicking, man. This guy Peter Yan, man, he's gonna be in for 5 rounds of war. I can't wait.
Yeah, we certainly can't wait for that fight. Another great fight card. But last thing here, man. One thing we do with our interviews, we just like to ask fighters random questions at the end. So for you, what is your favorite cheat meal?
Yes. My favorite one, I think I had it about twice, maybe 3 times so far. Cinnabon.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, classic cinnamon roll for Cinnabon, man. I could have it all day. I could have it for breakfast. I could have it for lunch, dinner, dessert.
Yeah.
I gotta chill out with it too much because I don't want to get too heavy. I want to fight a couple times here, but it's definitely Cinnabon's my go-to.
Okay. Sounds good on that. Well, thank you for coming on. It was great speaking with you. We look forward to talking to you again in the future. Keep going and keep winning. And if you want to shout out any social media or thank anyone, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Puminakuta_MMA. That's PHUMINKUTA_MMA. That's it, man. Thank you to my coaches. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to Chaos MMA. You guys are the GOAT.
Anytime.
Yes, sir.
Anytime.
And
Well,
good luck in your next fight. I'm excited to watch you fight again, man.
My man.
See you later, man. Have a good one.
All right, have a good one.
You too.